What is up, everybody? I need to take my Raleigh Tamland into the bike shop, Dirty River Bikes. I have completely worn out the brake pads on these disc brakes, and I pretty much know very little about disc brakes. I'm more of a, retro guy, quill stems, rim brakes, whatever. So this is my only bike with disc brakes, and it's my only bike with other modern standards. Modern, it's a 2014, but threadless headset and all that kind of stuff. So I am going to go into the shop, get some new brake pads for right now, but also ask all the questions that, basic questions, and find out a little more about what is up with mechanical disc. I can never remember what post mount is, flat mount. It's just not stuff I've really ever needed to know with one bike like this. So I'm going to go in and not be ashamed to find out some of the details. Hopefully they have time to chat on camera. If not, I'll summarize later. But I think what I'm also going to do is order some new brakes for this bike or see what they have. These TRP Spyres have probably 20,000 miles on them. And I don't think they were ever probably that great new, but now, I have to constantly readjust them. The levers are going all the way, to the bars. And it's just kind of frustrating at this point. So it's time for an upgrade. This bike needs a number of things done to it. So let's get the next iteration of my favorite bike, the Tamland 2, updated. Gave the bike a little rinse. That's always something nice to do for the mechanics. Don't want to show up with these brakes covered in dirt and mud, which they were.
Yeah, I was actually going to have you do that, so I have the tool inside. But I also need to look at my, if this needs to be changed, because I need to figure out what's bent in here.
So the first question I had to ask was, are disc brake pads universal? And I found out real quick from Otis, no, they're not. There's a ton of different shapes and sizes and standards. So if you need to order your brake pads online, definitely you need to do some research to know which ones you need. Anyways, they were kind of busy in the shop, but Ben was still able to get me hooked up. It doesn't seem like the uninstallation and the reinstallation of pads is very complicated, at least on these mechanical TRP Spyres. Basically, there's a pin with a 3mm or a bolt with a 3mm hex head that goes through where the pads are and the little holder, the little spring, and then there's a little cotter pin that's at the end. So you would remove the cotter pin, unscrew the bolt, put the new ones in their little assembly, put the bolt through the hole, tighten it down, put the cotter pin back on. It seems like the taking them out and putting the new ones in is the quickest part of the process. Getting everything lined up is what takes a little more time. Watching Ben do it, I know he loosened the two bolts that hold the full brake caliper, and then the adapter, which gets it to the right size for your rotor. Loosen those a little bit, and underneath the bolts there's kind of a couple washer adjuster cups, and so squeezing the lever theoretically should get the brake pads fairly centered, and then tightening those back down. He then did some adjustments by eye, and then even did some adjustments by ear, basically listening to hear if there was any rubbing with the pads, and then backing it off if not. So yeah, not a crazy complicated process, definitely something I'm capable of, but I still like to watch something done by a professional once before I try it. In a lot of ways, yeah, I could have learned it on YouTube, but I was going to buy my pads and Ben was able to help me out. So yeah, he also adjusted my front one as well. No, my rear one. He replaced the front ones, also got the rear one adjusted. The problem I've always been having with these brakes though is they just don't, all brakes are going to loosen over time, but these loosen extremely fast. Like I said, they're just beat up and worn out. So that's that. All right, got a lot of things figured out, but first we're going to get some food and beer. So the brakes feel really good. Ben got them sorted for now, but I did go ahead and order the Grautex. So I've got some blue anodized Grautex on the way from Velo Orange, and we'll get to see how those work. I know Pathless Pedal gave them a good review, and my buddy Dylan said they had as much stopping power as the Paul Clamper, so excited for that. Locked to an Akron, kind of a pretty scene. Also, Dirty River hooked it up with the Deity Blade Runner pedals. My Blade Runners got ruined when I got hit by that car, so I've been running a pair of Loner Deity compound pedals, and they just aren't the same. So it feels so good to be back on these pedals as well. Another thing that I had feared from my accident, I knew my crankset hadn't looked right, but I didn't know what was bent. Turns out the crankset is effed up, so ordered a new Shimano crank set. It's a 105. Unfortunately, it's going to be in black. I really like this silver. Originally, I had this bike built up with 9-speed Shimano, and its vintagey look that they built into this bike looked really cool with all the silvery bits from 105, but hey, I want something that functions, so I'll take what I could get. With the way supply chain is going still, they had 105 in black and I could get that right away, so it's the way to go. So this bike's gonna be kind of a pretty big rebuild. I think the only thing that'll be original left on it now will be the frame, fork, and headset, if I'm correct. But yeah, everything else will have been switched out now. Had to stop in here to take a leak. Look at this really beautiful Velo Orange though. So I'm recording this voiceover a few days later, and I actually just got a message from Dirty River Bike Works that Bicycle Works that my new brakes are in. So once I get that new crankset in, we'll be making another video showing getting this bike all set up in its new configuration. Till next time, buy some swag.